cameras all over the neighborhood. There's Ring doorbell cameras and everything.
This is the exact moment Melissa Turner realized that she was caught on camera taking her own boyfriend's life. And now she can do nothing but sit back and watch as her life falls apart.
I know that an argument happened, and the only two that were there were you and him. He's dead, you're not. The only person that could have done this is you.
It was just after 8 a.m. on October 19, 2019, when dispatch in Riverview, Florida received a frantic 911 call.
911, what is your emergency?
911. I woke up on my boyfriend. He was outside this morning. He's cold. He was just drinking. He's cold.
What's the address of the emergency? Hello?
I need paramedic.
What's the address of the
He was cold.
What's
Riverview, Florida.
Is he awake and breathing?
No.
And you found him outside?
I found him outside. The kitchen's a bloody mess. He's not breathing with me. He's not breathing.
Why is the kitchen a bloody mess?
I don't know.
You've just heard the voice of 26-year-old Melissa Turner, otherwise known as Olivia Vicks, a cam model who was happy to bear it all, except for the truth. She discovered her boyfriend of 2 years, 25-year-old Matthew Trussler, dead on the back patio of their lavish home. The two had met on Tinder and developed what appeared to be a loving, successful relationship. While Melissa made her online content, Matthew tended to their animals, the cooking, the cleaning, and the shopping. It seemed that the two had found a way of life that worked for them. But what detectives found in their home after responding to that 911 call pointed to trouble in paradise. Matthew was dead from multiple stab wounds. The kitchen was absolutely drenched in blood, and the weapon that had been used to kill him was nowhere to be found. With only one living person at the scene, police quickly took Melissa into custody for questioning. The following footage has been provided to us by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Please note that because one of the officers was participating in an undercover operation, his voice and face have been masked. That's what you get when you go undercover, a voice that would put Darth Vader to shame.
He's just grabbing a couple things, so just be a minute, right? You need any water or anything?
Please.
Like a cup of water? Okay, I'll just grab that. Is that something he was grabbing you already, do you know?
It's a lot less glamorous than they make it on TV, right?
It's not too cold for you.
I think I'd still have tremors right now, even if it were 100 degrees in here.
Poor mourning Melissa with her tremors. She's sure to let detectives know just how upset she is and how fast her heart is racing, despite what the technology on her wrist allegedly is saying.
Your Fitbits are lying. Do you have one?
I'm sorry?
The Fitbit smartwatch.
No, I don't.
There's just some cold water for you.
Thank you.
I tried to find some nice soft tissues.
It's okay.
That's what I was able to get, okay?
I'm not too concerned with you.
I just, you look very upset.
I look like a mess. I saw myself. I've got blood all over my face.
I'm sure you've had better days. But given the circumstances, I understand, okay? So now we're here at the CID office. I just want to go over a couple things with you real quick, okay? Just so you know, our rooms are audio and video recorded, all right? There's a camera right there,
I've already seen it.
okay?
And
And we
the
have digital recorders, so just in case that fails, this thing picks up what we say, okay? And it's to protect you and to protect us, so we can never say that you said something that you didn't, and you can't say something that we said that we didn't. You know what I mean?
Understood.
Like I told you back at the scene where I met you at, correct?
Yes.
And today's date, just for the record, is Friday, October 18, 2019. It's 10:51 hours. Met you over there. And Miss Turner, we're gonna go at your pace, okay?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Listen, you
The
don't.
date called me because a month and a half ago, we went to Cade's and we picked out a living room set, but it was on back order. It was supposed to be here this week, but it was delayed.
Okay. It's not.
And it's gonna show up, and I'm gonna have this couch. We picked it so it would be half my chair. It was a love seat with a console in the middle. It was supposed to be me. And it's gonna show up, and what the do I do with it now?
I don't know.
It never even got to sit there with me.
I'm so sorry. Look, I know this is difficult for you, okay? So we're gonna go, we're gonna take our time.
Okay.
You know, obviously, you're very upset, and I can understand why, okay? Let me just go over a couple more things with you real quick. I had asked you if you were willing to come back here and talk to us back at the house, is that correct?
Yes.
And the deputies transported you?
Yes.
Did anybody put any handcuffs or anything on you?
No.
All right. Just so you know, that door right there is unlocked, okay? If you walk out the door at any time during the interview, if you want to, you go to the left and you're in the parking lot. All right? You know that you're not under arrest and you don't have to talk to us, right? I told you that back at the scene. The reason I'm telling you this is because I'm not here to try to trick you. There's no tricks here, all right? I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Okay? Let me go over a couple basic things like your name, and where you live, and your date of birth, and stuff like that, so we can get it on the record.
Stand by.
Melissa tearfully gives police her details, raises her right hand, and swears that she's going to tell the police the truth. Less than 2 minutes later, she tells her first lie of many.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol? All right. In fairness, when I was talking to you earlier back at the house over there, I smelled a little bit of alcohol on your breath.
We were drinking last night.
No, that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with drinking. I just want to make sure that I cover that, so I know what your state is when I'm asking you questions.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all.
we were drinking last night,
Okay.
but obviously not since I woke up.
When's the last time you had a drink?
Probably 10-ish last night, 10:30 maybe.
I'm not trying to pick on you, and I don't want you to get upset with me. I'm just trying to cover it. In fairness to you, I could smell it, so I don't want to. Listen, the only thing I have in this world is my word. I don't want to play any tricks or anything. I could smell it, so I wanted to ask you about it. Is that fair?
That's fine, because, I mean, I get up early all the time for 4:30 in the morning. So by 10 o'clock at night, I'm normally spent, and I told whoever I was talking to there that I remember just being tired. Yeah, we were drinking, but I just remember being tired and curling up in the chair.
Who do you live there with? What's his name?
Matthew.
Matthew? What's Matthew's last name?
Trussler.
Can you spell the last name?
Trussler.
And you two live there together?
Yes.
Does anyone?
We bought the house together. It's only us.
When did you all buy the house?
January.
Of this year?
Yes.
How long have you been dating Matthew?
2.5 years. We're engaged.
What time did you go to bed last night?
I mean, like I said, we were having some drinks. But I remember getting really tired around 10, and I just wanted to go to bed. And 10:30ish was when I remember 10:30, 11 maybe is when I remember going to curl up on the chair, because I slept on that big chair that's in my little office area downstairs.
Okay. What were you guys drinking?
Vodka.
Just vodka, anything else?
I mean, vodka and Coke and water, just.
Were you having drinks or were you guys taking shots?
We were taking shots.
Would you say, now I don't know what your alcohol tolerance is, what would you say you were intoxicated? when you went to sleep?
Well, I was taking. He can drink like he could. I mean, he was always he could drink you under the table.
Does he
He
have a
had a
drink?
high metabolism, and he was just always running through booze. I remember I made a specific point of it even earlier in the night to tell him, just I want to stop. Let's take a break, and for an hour and a half, at least earlier in the night, I didn't drink a single thing. I just had water, and we ate and everything. We had we ate dinner, and that was it. And I mean, I got drunk, yeah, but not obliterated. You know, like I would say I was beyond being just buzzed, because we did get drunk. But that's what we did. We were there at the house ourselves. That's what we would do on a night when we didn't have to get up and do anything the next morning. We had drinks. He always liked drinking. He was a drinker.
Did he have would you say he had a drinking problem or no?
He had a drinking problem.
Okay.
I can't bullshit you. I mean,
Oh, she can BS police, but surprisingly, she's actually not here. Matthew's family and friends have agreed that he struggled with alcoholism. However, they really only saw an increase in his drinking once he joined Melissa in producing her OnlyFans content. He made it clear to friends that he didn't enjoy the videos or want to be in them, and many have suggested that Melissa's insistence in his participation was driving him towards his breaking point.
So last night when you guys were eating dinner, it was just the two of you alone?
yeah,
Having some drinks and eating some Mexican food?
yeah.
Who doesn't love Mexican food? I love it. Alright, so after dinner what happens? What do you guys do next? We're at about 9:45 now, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds right. The Truly, the hard seltzers that have like
Hard seltzers.
the hard seltzers that maybe about the same as much as beer. I was having one of those. He was having a beer, Corona.
Did you drink a White Claw?
No,
You know what that is?
I know what they are. Yeah,
That's like the new fad.
I know. I don't. They're
I'm
too
just
sweet
asking.
for me.
You're not into that? Okay.
They're too sweet for me.
Okay.
I like the Trulies. There's less sweetness and it's less sugar and stuff.
So you're drinking hard seltzer and he's drinking...
I was drinking that, so I mean, I was having that. He was having a beer. I was basically having the girly version of a beer,
Okay.
essentially. And we were doing that. And we were just talking about things. We were talking about oh, my phone was on. We pulled up the credit card, the Capital One, because we share a card.
I'm sorry?
We share a card.
Uh-huh.
The Capital One card. We share a card. We were bringing it up and looking at it because of the charges and everything on it, and because it's a cashback code. And our goal was always, whenever the cashback got to 1,000, we were going to take ourselves on a vacation. And we had just hit around 600.
When you guys were talking about the vacations and all that stuff, how long did that last?
We kind of got lost doing it. We were just talking about it, dreaming, having a good time, maybe 30 minutes just on that.
And then once you guys wrapped that up, what happened next? Or what'd y'all do?
I mean, we were talking about vacations and money and stuff at the same time, and I feel like I know what happened next. As I've been having a stomach issue lately where I just start burping a lot and I get the hiccups, and from the hiccups I throw up. I didn't get to the throw up because he helped me calm down and just control my breathing and like make the hiccups go away. And that's what happened next. But for me, it's a really exhausting process. You made me hiccuping for 15 minutes. And I mean, sometimes it's longer for me. I mean, normally the hiccups can be anywhere from 10 or 15 minutes to it's been an hour of just straight hiccups. And that's annoying as shit and exhausting at the same time. So I'm not sure exactly how long I had the hiccups last night, but I know that started up again. I don't know what it is with me.
What did he do while you had the hiccups?
He was just there with me, telling me to breathe, to calm down.
Was he trying to help you?
Absolutely. Breathe, calm down, hold my breath. He was breathing with me, helping me to steady myself.
And it's still just the two of you there, right?
Yes.
So that lasts, you don't know how long that lasts, but then
I'm
what,
not sure exactly, no.
what do you do? What goes on next?
We
What time do you think you had those hiccups?
10-ish, 10, around 10:50.
Did you go to bed? Is that what you did next?
I think, well, you get talkative when you get drinking and stuff, and he was still having his beers, and I remember he was just still going and talking about stuff, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm here, but I want to go to bed. Kind of like one of those, like, kind of, like, I'm tired.
I'm married. I'm there with you. Alright?
Like,
I know what you mean.
You hear me, though.
Yeah. So, when you're tired, you're ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And the other person wants to keep talking, and sometimes you're listening and you're doing the old head nod, but
yeah.
then when they say, they ask you a question, they trick you, they're like, oh, you're not listening to me.
Especially because I would get up so much earlier than him, so like
Right.
our sleep schedules were off.
4:30 is early.
And then he didn't wake up until 9 or something,
Right.
that our sleep schedules are always off. And so like I said, 10:30, 11, I'm just like
Mhm.
doing that, After talking in the kitchen, I remember going to lie down on the chair in the office.
Now, what time do you think that was?
11 maybe?
So you fall asleep in the chair in the office. Did you wake up at all during the night? What time did you wake up this morning?
Probably 20 minutes before I don't know what time it was. I don't even know what time it is right now.
It's 11:33 a.m.
I don't know. I normally don't sleep in. But whatever time, I remember waking up and I didn't see him around. I saw the kitchen was. I didn't see him outside at first. I didn't see him there. I went upstairs and I checked the bedroom. I thought he went to bed upstairs. I checked upstairs. And then I came back down again. And I saw Farrah by the sliding glass door. She wanted outside. She wanted to go outside, so I opened the door. I was really. And then I saw him. He was sitting in the chair, slumped over at the table. He was cold. I pulled him to the ground.
I'm sorry. I know this must be very difficult for you.
It feels like a dream. It feels like a nightmare because when I've had nightmares, this has been it. Losing him.
When you pulled him onto the ground, what did you do? What did you try to do? Or did you do anything?
I grabbed his face. I tried to talk to him. His eyes were open. His pupils weren't doing anything. And that scared the shit out of me. I begged him to come back to me. Because I can't do this myself. I put my thing in. I tried to check for a pulse. I didn't know what to do. I ran in the house. I grabbed a cloth and put warm water on it and came back and did the same thing. I tried to start CPR. And then I went back in the house and I got my phone. It was on speakerphone with the operator while I was trying to give this.
This is the chair that Melissa claims to have fallen asleep in and remained in from 11 p.m. until 8 a.m., just before she frantically called 911. However, there are cameras that imply something very, very different. But before police confront her about that, she has other inconsistencies to dole out, like the area she supposedly searched for Matthew.
I noticed that the house is 2 stories.
Yeah.
How many bedrooms are on the bottom?
No bedrooms on the bottom.
Where's the office?
It's if you walk in the front door, it's to the left.
It's to the left. Where's the kitchen?
So the stairs are in the middle, and it's around it's a big circle, pretty much. So the office is to the left, but the kitchen's on the other side of the stairs.
So when you walked out of the office, you said you slept in the office last night, right? When you walked out of the office, you had to walk. You said you walked towards the outside. You didn't see him out there, right? And
I
then
didn't.
And then you went upstairs to check,
Yes.
but you had to pass the kitchen to go upstairs.
Yeah.
I've never been inside, so that's why I'm kind of asking.
So downstairs, there's the office, so the front door, and then the office, and then there's the laundry in the bathroom, and then the kitchen, and the living room here, and then the stairs are in the middle. And I walked around, but I didn't see him.
You walked around where?
Around the whole bottom stairs.
In the kitchen?
Yeah, I
Living
went
room?
from the office to the laundry, the kitchen, to the living room, and then I didn't see him, so I went upstairs, but I didn't see him in bed. The bed was still made from whenever we made it the previous day. So I was confused, and I went back downstairs, and so the dog wanted to go outside, and so I was going to let her out, and then when I was walking towards the sliding glass doors is when I saw him at the table.
Melissa claims that one of the first rooms she looked at was the kitchen, and yet somehow she makes no mention that it was absolutely drenched in blood. She didn't follow the trail to find Matthew on the patio or even mention that she was alarmed at all. Instead, she tells police she continued to make her way upstairs to see if Matt was there. When they check why, her reasoning is, well, strange to say the least.
You saw the kitchen and how it looked prior to going upstairs to look for him. And I've never been in the house. I haven't been in there. I was told by deputies that responded that it's got some blood and some glass. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so is that uncommon if you wake up and you're walking around and see that? What's your reaction to that when you saw that?
I mean, I saw it and I was worried and everything. That's why but that's why I was looking for him. Like, but I saw broken glass and there was a lot of blood, but I mean, there could have been a lot of blood, yeah, but I mean, if it was anything that terrible, I thought we would be sitting in the ER kind of thing. Like, I think like maybe like glass got broke, we cut, or one of us cut ourselves or something, and just I don't know, just didn't clean it up. He was drunk and didn't clean it up.
But to you, 'cause like again, I haven't been in there, but to you it looks like a lot of blood and a lot of glass, like something happened.
Yes.
Okay. Did you at that point become more concerned about anything, or are you still just trying to see if he's sleeping upstairs?
I was absolutely more concerned.
Okay. I'm just asking because I'm like I said, I haven't been in there. I don't know what kind of reaction it's going to elicit. If I go in there, I'm like, oh, that's just some little blood on the ground.
Just a little blood on the ground.
Okay.
So there was a lot of blood. And yeah, I saw it, but I kept looking for him. I ran upstairs. He wasn't in the bedroom. I mean, I know I said I came back downstairs to let the dog outside, but I was confused. I didn't know, like, if you're not here, you're not there. What happened? Where are you? Kind of thing. Like, it didn't even occur to me that he would be outside.
Only when you let the dog out when you realized he was.
Yeah, because
I didn't know. Like, I didn't think he would be outside. I didn't think to check there. It's not like we just go to sleep outside.
There wasn't just a lot of blood at the scene. According to multiple responding officers, it was one of the most bloody, violent scenes they had ever seen in their entire career. Certainly not the kind of scene that would come from someone breaking a glass.
What do you think happened?
I mean, you understand just from our standpoint, obviously, we weren't there last night. If you could just take your best guess of what you thought could have happened.
I don't know. I woke up to just see the kitchen a bloody mess.
Did anything happen between the two of you in the kitchen to cause that bloody mess?
Not much blood, no.
Did he have any issues with anybody else?
In what way do you mean?
Like, does he owe, I mean, is there anybody out there that wants to hurt him?
Shouldn't be. I mean, maybe my ex, he did try and shoot him before.
When was that?
2017, June, July.
What was he arrested for?
Domestic violence and assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts for each. He got pissy because I had Matthew at the house. But mind you, he had just had a girl upstairs that he was sent on her way. But Matt was sick. I picked him up from work and brought him to the house. I explained all of this to Chris, saying, he's sick. I'm going to pick up prescriptions now for him. He's sick as a dog. But I'd just adopted a new cat too. So that night happened to be downstairs in the living room, playing with the cat. Normally, whenever Matt would come over, if Chris was there, we would keep to my room, just to avoid conflict and all that. But we were downstairs, we had a new cat. Why shouldn't have been a problem? Like, he was just a girl up there in his room. But he had wanted to show his that night, and he came downstairs and started arguing with Matt, and Matt went upstairs because he put on his clothes, he was just gonna leave, but then Chris started yelling at me and back and forth yelling, and it ended up with me and Matt grabbed me and just started kissing me, and Chris had his phone, funny as shit, he was recording all of it the entire time, was just recording us kissing, and then he said something to Matt, and Matt turned and looked at him, and then Chris just whipped out a Glock, pointing straight at him, intending to shoot him. And my dumb stepped in front of the gun. And then he called the cops on himself. I have the video and everything. There's an intruder in my house. So he got arrested for that because he's just stupid.
Is that the last incident between the two of them?
Yes.
Does Christopher know where you all live?
I hope not.
I mean, have you told him?
No, absolutely not. He tried to message me on, social media and stuff, and I told him basically go f*** yourself anytime you try to contact me.
This may be a shock, so prepare yourself. But Melissa's ex had absolutely nothing to do with Matthew's murder. In fact, her ex provided police with some very helpful character information. According to him, over the course of their relationship, Melissa's personality completely changed. That coincided with her, shall we say, celebrity growing. By the end of their relationship, she was unpredictable, often instigating fights and screaming so loud that it would pierce his ears. Unfortunately for Melissa, those screams also pierced their neighbor's security cameras.
You pointed to, just a second ago, you pointed to your right arm. Is he right-handed or left-handed?
He's right-handed.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Did you see any other injuries anywhere else?
I don't remember.
Do you have any injuries on your person?
No,
Any scratches or cuts or anything?
none that I've noticed. I was wearing...
You weren't wearing those gloves.
No.
The deputy at the scene gave them to you? Here, let me get the trash can. Would you mind
I think
taking
I
your...
did grab the glass, though.
I was going to say, would you mind just taking those gloves off for me?
You put them right in that trash can.
Yeah, I have a little cut on my hand. But
Can we see your
right there.
And that's from what?
I think it's from grabbing the glass. Or, because I know there was the broken glass this morning. I'm sorry, this morning's not the clearest thing in my mind. Wait.
Do you know where or
I remember
what?
it was a Hard Rock glass, I believe, in the kitchen, and I think I picked up a piece of it on the floor.
Obviously, based on what you've told me, and if anything's correct that I say, please correct me. Based on what you told me, it was only you and Matthew in the house last night. You guys were drinking throughout the evening. having taken some shots. After you guys fed the cats around 7. You took a little break. Then you started drinking again, playing some card games. Started talking about Capital One.
Yeah, the card games were earlier in the night, but I mean, yeah, it was
Right.
just a
Sorry, card games,
It was
cats.
just kind of a chill night. Like, yeah, we played some games, we talked, and just
You fall asleep around 10:30, 11 in the chair inside the office, which is downstairs, right? And you woke up this morning. You come out, you don't see him, but the kitchen's in a bloody mess. And you find him outside sitting in a chair. You try to give him CPR, but you don't know what happened to him. Was there any fighting or arguing last night? Do you all have a history of any kind of fighting or arguing?
nothing. I mean, couples argue sometimes. We never really fought. We would argue.
Have you guys ever been physical with one another?
No.
Not. I'm talking about like
Physical fighting.
physical fighting.
As physical as we got, it would be one of us having to say, like, if we got too drunk, just sit down and chill out kind of thing. Like, it wasn't hitting, pushing, anything like that. It was more just like, sit down and calm down.
So-
He did drink a lot, yeah, and there were times where I had to, like, make him just stop and drink water, you know, kind of be like, you're not drinking any more liquor, just sit down and you know, here's a bottle of water, chill out kind of shit. And he would normally just fall over on the couch and fall asleep. That's why I checked downstairs, because I thought he was just asleep on the couch.
So there was no arguing last night.
We were having a great time.
Was there anything physical, violent?
He was never violent, not to me.
Were you violent with him at all? You didn't push him or punch him, scratch him, anything like that?
No.
And he didn't do anything to you?
No, we were never like that. I mean, like I said, couples argue, but we never got to that point. We'd yell at each other and go to bed and wake up and be like, I was a I'm sorry. And that was the end of it. Like, we'd move on from it.
So nothing happened last night for him to get upset or violent with you, right? Was there anything that happened or that would have caused you to get violent with him?
No.
Did you do anything to harm him? Do you know who harmed him? Before the cops showed up, did you move or remove anything from the house?
No.
Did you go anywhere?
No.
Talk to anybody from mommy to any.
The only thing I cared about was him.
Melissa claims there was absolutely no violence or fighting, but you're about to see that story change, all because of a few minutes of footage. Police go on to take photos of her body. They don't just discover one suspicious mark on her body, they find several.
We looked a little bit more. We thought your scratch was kind of small, but then we saw that it was bigger. But we also saw, like, it looks like we call it abrasion, but maybe a scratch. Tell me about that on the left side of your neck. Yeah.
This, that I don't have an actual explanation for you. Besides, I mean, I don't know. I could have done it myself this morning for all I know, going through my panic attacks and stuff, because I don't hurt myself, but sometimes I do. Like, when I have an anxiety or a panic attack, I'll grab at myself without realizing it. So I don't know if that's that, but I don't know.
Did somebody else scratch you?
Nothing I know of, no.
Would you know if somebody scratched you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you said not that I know of, so.
I mean, I don't know
if
where
he
it
scratched
came
me,
from.
I would know he scratched me type of thing. That's why I'm asking.
I have no, like, real explanation for it besides, like, I do this when I get anxious, and this morning's been a roller coaster, and it's all been down now.
No, I know. And earlier when we were talking to you, we didn't know about that, so that's why we didn't ask about it.
I don't know.
Scratch on your stomach, or the abrasion on your stomach when the Miss Patel was taking photographs, you had a red line.
Yeah, the
right
mark
there.
on my stomach. could be from leaning over the counter, or I don't know. It's a straight line, so it's not like I got hit or something.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you looked at the photo, but it's like, it looks like I leaned over something wrong, or like...
It's very level. I would say
Yeah,
it's
that's
very
what I
level.
mean. Like, I could be like me leaning over the counter or something like that. I mean, we were putting up the pumpkin man, doing a little bit in the yard in the garage yesterday, and I'm accident prone.
And you said, you cut, tell me again how you cut yourself?
I don't remember exactly. Because I remember it was this morning, because I remember getting some blood on him. I think I was looking for a phone, and I was panicking and picked up the glass, because I knew it was this morning. I remember that. I think I just couldn't find a phone at the time between the mess that the kitchen was, and I was just panicking.
That's a pretty significant cut.
Yeah, well, I was panicking pretty bad.
Does that look like a glass cut?
I don't know what it looks like. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
It must have been a pretty big piece of glass.
Well, I remember there was the glass in the kitchen was a big mug.
Okay.
So it could have been that. I picked that up and was panicking, kind of. I don't know. I just remember it was this morning. And
When's the last time, again, that anybody besides the screen guy was at your house, like a visitor?
We just had the windows replaced not too long ago. So I mean, those guys were there, but before that, it'd probably been a month or so, month and a half.
Hopefully her acting for her subscribers is better than her acting here. Going from dramatically sobbing over the cut on your hand to calmly explaining your schedule doesn't exactly help her case. Another thing that doesn't help her case? What she told police at the scene.
Like I said, we got detectives at the house. They're inside the house now. I think they got a search warrant for it. And we've been talking to the neighbors and all of that stuff. You said that last night you never woke up at all?
Not that I know.
You either did or you don't. I'm not tricking. This isn't a trick question.
No, I don't remember waking up. I remember laying down, and I remember waking up in the same spot.
The deputy, I spoke to the deputy at the scene, and he said when he first spoke with you, you made a comment to him and had said that, well, what were you and Matthew arguing about last night?
I don't really remember. I mean, we might have gone in argument, but it didn't seem like anything. I mean, sometimes we do whenever we get one of us, whenever he drinks a little too much, but I always just brush it off and go to bed. It could have been, I'm not exactly, I don't know.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because you told the deputy that you guys were arguing. And you've been pretty detailed about everything that happened yesterday. I mean, even how you woke him up yesterday, that's pretty detailed. So I would think you would remember what you guys were arguing about. That's why I'm asking.
Because, I mean, he did have a lot to drink last night, I know that, but I don't really remember it because it kind of is not that we fight and argue all the time, but he just, we'll just get drunk sometimes, and he gets a little too amped, like wants to, I don't know, he goes on about something. Like I said, I think it was, when I said he was talking, I think that's kind of ties into it. Like, I just want to go to bed, and he would be like, no, like, stay up with me, come on, let's have fun, blah, blah, blah. And we get in arguments about that sometimes because I just can't stay up, I'm just tired. And he would, drunk him would get, like, disappointed about it. So it's not, like, actual arguing, but it was more, like, made me feel guilty kind of thing, like, we weren't like screaming at each other that I know of. We were just.
How long were you guys arguing for?
I don't know exactly. Like, I wasn't keeping tabs on the time.
5 minutes.
Maybe 10.
An hour.
10, 15, I would say, is normally our back and forth. And me, I'm like, drinks. water and shut up kind of thing normally.
You probably weren't arguing with him when you had the hiccups in the...
Oh no, we weren't arguing then, I don't know,
But
because
so
he
it
was
must
trying
have
to calm
been,
me
it must have
down.
been after the burping and the hiccups and before you went to sleep?
Yeah, it had to have been then.
Well, you mentioned the argument may have been because you just wanted to go to sleep and he's wanting to hang out and talk.
That happens, yeah.
Okay, but that was also the time you were basically falling asleep while he was giving him the and just whatever he was talking about.
That's about right.
But so, is it fair to say that you guys were arguing, but you just don't remember what you were arguing about?
You could say that, but I can't
I'm not
say
saying anything, I'm asking you. I mean, you guys
It's fair to
argued-
say we may have been, but we might not have been.
Okay,
I mean, because it wasn't significant enough for me to actually remember it.
okay.
Seems like maybe a little tiff, back and forth, normal shit, but nothing monumental.
Okay. Tell me about what happened around 4 o'clock this morning.
4 o'clock? What happened at 4 o'clock?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking you.
I don't know either. Why?
Was there any arguing around
At 4 o'clock?
this
Not
morning?
that I know of.
You would know because either you were sleeping or you weren't.
I believe I was asleep.
Okay. Were you asleep at 4 o'clock this morning?
To my knowledge, yes.
Do you remember being awake at 4 o'clock this morning?
No?
Did you and Matthew get in an argument at 4 o'clock this morning?
No.
Or 4:30, somewhere around that time frame?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
And any time between when you went to bed at 11 to when you woke up, I think you said 20 minutes before you called us, right?
That's right around, yeah.
So let me just make sure I have the right time so I'm not talking.
The call came in at 8:45.
8:45 is when the call came in, so you said about 20 minutes, maybe, even if you lost track of time, say you wake up at 8. Any time between you went to bed at 11 last night to 8 this morning, did you have any arguments with Matthew?
No, not that I know of.
Well, I mean, you say that a couple times.
Let me say this. So we've been talking to the neighbors. There's cameras all over the neighborhood. There's Ring doorbell cameras and everything.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes when we ask questions, we usually know the answers to them already. That's why we're
Yeah.
asking you this
That's
question.
why I'm getting the feeling.
Around 4 o'clock this morning, something happened at your house. That's why we're asking.
Okay, what
The only
happened?
person, I don't know, the only person that can tell us that is you because unfortunately Matthew's not here.
Yes,
I-
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Okay.
What were the neighbors saying? What?
It ain't what the neighbors are saying, it's what's on
What is-
video.
what-
There's arguing coming from the house. It's a male and a female. And you told us earlier in your statement that the only people that were there all night long were you and Matthew.
I have no memory of any argument at 4 in the morning.
Okay.
If it was at 4 in the morning, I will tell you right now, I did not stay up until 4 in the morning. I don't know, maybe it's possible he was still up and drunk and woke me up and we got in an argument over that.
Did that happen?
If it was 4 in the morning, then my ass was dead asleep, and if he woke me up, then I was still half asleep.
Oh, those pesky security cameras. What they picked up around 4 a.m. coming from Melissa and Matthew's home absolutely doesn't sound like a half-awake argument over someone waking someone else up. They sound like something out of a horror movie about a banshee. At this point, detectives know exactly what she did, but getting her to admit it is a whole different story. And little does she know, police have video evidence not just from the neighbors, but from inside the home.
So tell me about the argument that you and Matthew had around 4 o'clock this morning.
I have no memory of that.
Okay. But it wasn't anybody else because there wasn't anybody else there. I'm being totally transparent with you.
I have given you the information that I have.
Okay. Well, just asking because something happened there. Matthew, unfortunately, is no longer with us. And I have some video surveillance that over here is a conversation, actually yelling and screaming between a male and a female, coming from your house. So I know you drank some, but you said you weren't on any drugs or taking any medication, so
No.
I tend to believe that he may have woke you up. For why he woke you up, I don't know. Why you guys were arguing?
I know he got really drunk, so I can't say. I mean, sometimes when he got really drunk, he got really drunk. He would say, like, he was an alcoholic. He got belligerent sometimes. Not hurt me, not touch anything, but he would get just drunk, like, out of control drunk.
Let me ask you this. When you went to sleep, let's say approximately 11 o'clock last night, and until you woke up this morning, did you use your cell phone to call anybody or anything?
Not that I know of. Did I do it without me remembering?
Do you have a tendency to do things without you remembering?
No. That's
Okay.
why I'm confused right now.
I'm a little confused too. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, because that's not me.
Okay.
Not
So
at
if
all.
something happened, you would remember?
Yes. I don't really have memory lapses.
But you don't remember this morning?
I do not remember 4 o'clock this morning, no.
Here's, and I'm just gonna.
Okay, just no bullshit, please.
Exactly, no
Okay,
bullshit.
cool.
Let's do that, because here's the thing. He's sitting here telling you, he's playing his cards. He's showing his hand to you. You guys played cards last night. You guys know how to play cards, right?
Yeah.
He's showing his hand right now. He's telling you that we have evidence that there's arguing coming from your house at
Right.
4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't want you to go down a road where you say that you just have no memory of that.
Okay.
What we need from you that would probably be a lot better off and make a lot more sense is to come forward and tell us what that argument was about it for you, rather than say you don't remember.
The argument was him waking me up because he was a night person, as I've told you guys. Him staying up till 4 in the morning whenever he got drunk is not unheard of. I would say he woke me up, and we got in an argument over that because he was still up at 4 in the morning drinking. When he had a problem, he knew about it. He knew he should fix it. He was trying to work on it, but being up at 4 in the morning, drunk off your ass, wasn't doing anybody any good. And that was what the argument was about then.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you do have a memory of what happened, right?
Yes.
At 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, so you're obviously upset because, so just so I'm following, he's drinking until the wee hours of the morning.
Right.
And that upsets you because of whatever he's doing wakes you up, and that's why you were upset.
I'm upset, yeah, because he comes and wakes me up, but also because...
Did he purposely come and shake you and wake you up, or did he just be noisy and that's what woke you up?
For me, and for me to wake up like that, he woke me up
Okay.
himself.
And so, what happens from there then? Now that you're awake and you're having this memory of arguing with him at 4 o'clock, what do you remember from that time?
I remember having the argument. I don't remember the kitchen there was no broken glass, there was no blood anywhere, nothing. I just remember arguing with him.
Convenient that she now suddenly remembers arguing with him. You'll be surprised by just how good her memory gets by the end of the interrogation.
Why were you yelling at him? Bitch, get up, all that stuff.
Because he has a tendency sometimes, actually a lot of the times, whenever he is drinking and gets that drunk into the hours of the morning, he will just fall over. He'd be standing, he'd be sitting, and he would just fall on the floor because he just gets that drunk. And I might have been, yeah, so I was upset with him and was yelling at him because I was upset that he had done that again.
I want to keep asking you some more questions.
Okay.
But I'm kind of at a point where I want to read you a couple things. Okay. This is an affidavit that we have. Have you ever been arrested before, anything like that?
No.
All right. Do you know what your Miranda rights are?
Are you arresting me?
No, I'm not arresting you. What I'm doing is protecting you, your constitutional rights, because I want to ask you some more questions. But I want to read you your rights and afford you the opportunity to listen to those rights before I continue to ask you any questions.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, there's no tricks here, all right? I'm not a magician. I'm just trying to figure out what happened,
Okay.
all right? You have rights, and I just want to make sure that they're protected. I'm going to read them to you, and you can read them to yourself. As I read them, I'll just have you initial them. You got your...
This would be the perfect time to ask for a lawyer.
So, tell me a little bit more about the arguing.
He was still up and he was drunk and being loud and, I mean, he wasn't harming me or anything like that. He was just still awake at 4 in the morning being drunk, and then he did the thing that, I mean, he's done it so many times over where he just gets drunk to the point that he just falls over. And he's done it millions of times, and he'll be standing up and just fall over, or sitting down and just fall on the floor. And the next morning he'll wake up with bruises on himself and not remember it. And I have to drag him to try and get him on the couch sometimes. Getting him upstairs isn't really an option. I try and put him on the couch. I try and drag him over there sometimes. Sometimes I end up just putting a pillow under his head where he's at on the floor.
Do you love him?
Do
you love him?
With all of my heart.
I can see that. Every time you shed a tear, it rolls all the way down your cheek, goes to your chin, and lands in your shirt. And your shirt is soaked. That's a shirt full of tears.
We may have gotten in an argument at 4 in the morning. I would never, and he would never, we never would do anything to harm each other. We had a life together. We had plans, and everything was going perfect for us.
Is it routine for him to wake you up like that early in the morning?
Absolutely not.
How did it make you feel when he woke you up this morning?
I was pissed off. I was angry at him.
But you love him, right?
Absolutely.
Why would you say go f yourself so many times? Because I can tell you this, as a husband, I've never told my wife, go f yourself. I've never done that. Now, I don't know, all I know about your history with him is what you told me today. But what I can say, I've never done that as a husband. Okay?
You might not have ever done that as a husband, but when he gets that drunk, sometimes he himself says a lot of nasty things to me, and sometimes they're saying, go f yourself. Off is just better than trying to deal with what he's saying, because I know in the morning he wakes up, he won't remember a word he said. He won't remember passing out on the floor. He won't know why he has a big bruise up his back, because he fell over onto the counter one time and then hit the floor, and he couldn't figure out the next day why his back and his head hurt so much. I love him, and he was a good man, is a good man. But he said a lot of nasty shit whenever he got drunk sometimes.
You also said a couple of other things like, stay down, so f***ing die. What are you talking about?
That was me being pissed off at him that he fell over.
He fell over.
When he got drunk and fell over.
How? Where did he fall over at?
The first time was in the kitchen.
Okay.
Like near the pantry.
Mm-hmm. Did he get hurt?
I don't know, as hard as you get from falling from over onto a tile floor. Not particularly.
Well, sometimes when you're drunk,
exactly.
You lose your equilibrium and you could fall and hit your head or anything like that. What about the second time when he fell over? Because you said the first time, so I'm assuming there was a second time. Where did he fall over?
Not more than, I don't believe it was more than a few feet away. And he tried to get back up. And then,
Let me ask you something. We've been sitting here talking for a few minutes, probably an hour or two at least. You told us that you guys were there, there's only two of you, the two of you were drinking. At first you didn't want to tell us about the argument at 4 o'clock this morning, but you did, so I appreciate that, okay? But my problem is I got Matthew on the back porch with stab wounds.
stab wounds.
Or wounds from a sharp object, okay? And the only people that were there were you and him. So I'm trying to figure out what happened, because earlier when I asked you if he was right-handed or you were right-handed, you said he had 2 deep cuts, is what you said.
That I saw.
That you
on
saw.
his arm.
Right. So how did he get those cuts?
That I don't know.
Matthew's injuries were both extreme and plentiful. Not only did he have a deep stab wound to his back, but defensive wounds on both of his arms. One of those defensive wounds severed his cephalic vein, resulting in rapid blood loss and eventually his death. Had he gotten immediate first aid and attention, his chances of survival would have been high.
Was it an accident? Because you were upset he woke you up?
I would
Or was
never
it something
stab him.
Okay. Well, what happened? Help me, okay?
That I don't know.
Help me help you.
I don't know that part.
He's got wounds. The only people that think of it from let's imagine you're sitting right here, okay?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's just imagine for a second that you're sitting here in my seat and I'm sitting in yours, and I'm telling you the same story you're telling me. It doesn't even something happened. I need to know, was it an accident or just you reacting because you were upset and then you realized, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this? Or was this something that was planned that you were going to be doing this?
I did not plan it.
I don't know.
Help us understand is what he's saying.
I love that man with all my heart. I never had those thoughts in my mind. My thoughts were, what am I going to buy him for Christmas? I don't know what happened. If it was an accident, then something. I wouldn't have let him just die had I known that anything like that had happened.
So there was no accidents.
I did not.
Because I'm gonna give you another little tidbit. There was something else that was overheard on that video.
What?
I'm not going to tell you what it was. I'm not going to give you everything. I've told you I've been doing this for a little while. I'm not going to give you everything. I've given you enough. I've given you enough. You said something else. It doesn't look very good for yourself in regards to this incident. I want you to think back about that argument that you had and everything that you were saying, or that you could have said. You made a statement. I'm not going to tell you what it was. But what I will ask, what did you do? Which one? This one? Or this one?
That one is not me.
Tell me about this one. I know that you wouldn't intentionally do it, but I know that an argument happened, and the only two that were there were you and him. He's dead. You're not. You got a slice on your hand. A slice. That's what that is. It's a slice. How did that happen? It's not from glass. I can tell you that. I've been doing this.
I mean, I know I picked up, maybe it wasn't from it. I know I picked up the glass this morning. Maybe it wasn't from it.
I've been doing this for a long time. This one?
It is
This
that one.
It's this one. Tell me. Tell me what happened. He pissed you off then. You didn't want to get up. He drinks too much. He called you names. You didn't like it. You got fed up with it. You said, F it. You actually said, go F yourself.
And he's told me to go F myself.
I know.
So So help us understand that he's telling you you're saying you're not a cold-blooded killer, right? Okay. So obviously something happened because Matthew isn't with us. So what we're trying to get is what led to that versus the other side just makes you look like a cold-blooded killer if you sit here and say you don't know.
Listen, I just held my hands out, and when I said this one or this one, you said not that one, that one.
I would not.
I don't think you would intentionally do it. I don't. I see all those tears right there in the middle of your chest. I need to know why. What happened? The only person that could have done this is you. You're the only person there. This one? Or this one? I don't think you're this one.
He's never... He was never violent towards me.
So why did you react that way? I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
He's...
This one or this one? This is your chance.
He gets drunk. He's never been violent towards me. He does get his knives out sometimes. And I don't want to tell you that he's put his hands on me. It's because it's not like he hits me, but he sometimes would maybe grab me or something and try, like, that sort of thing. He didn't hit me, and anything like this only happened whenever he was that drunk, where he was gone. He wasn't him anymore. I can't tell you why, if that's... Talking about it more now, thinking back on it. This is from me grabbing a knife out of his hand. I don't remember which one it was that he had. I don't even know if I got the knife away from him doing this, but I know he had it. I don't... Do I need a lawyer?
Melissa is asking that question about 3 hours too late. It was only a matter of time before Melissa went for the self-defense angle. And though you're about to see her claim that she would never destroy Matthew's name, well, that's a lie, just like everything else out of her mouth.
If you think you need one, that's totally up to you.
I swear he'd never hit me, never laid a hand on me, even when drunk. I will not let his name go down like that. But I do remember pissing him off when I tried to get the knife out of his hand. Because that was me. That's me. If you won't hand it over, if I can't get it out of his hand, I'll just grab the blade and get it out that way, if that's the only part of the knife I can grab to get it away from him. It's the first time I've done it. Because normally I can get the blade away from him. I pissed him off trying to do it. And things kind of escalated from there.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, my neck isn't from me. And my jaw's sore, like I got hit. And I remember being thrown over the counter, lying on my stomach. I think in the moment, things just escalated. Like I said, he got pissed off, got a little more aggressive with what he was doing. I'm a lawyer.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the interview at 14:06 hours.
Melissa was taken into custody on charges of second-degree murder. Unsurprisingly, at trial, her story changed once more. Though you've just heard her say that Matthew would never hurt her, in her updated version of events, she claimed that he was suffering from hallucinations that would cause him to have violent episodes. During those episodes, she claims he would say classic 80s horror movie lines like, "Matthew's not here anymore," and "Are you scared, little girl?" She claimed that the night of the murder, Matthew was the aggressor, pushing her, shoving her, and even drawing a knife on her. She had no choice but to stab him in self-defense. The camera in their living room told another story. This footage was taken just before 4 a.m., when the neighbor's security system caught Melissa screaming at Matthew. Melissa is clearly following Matthew in the footage. He is calm and unarmed, but Melissa is hunched over, screaming and clearly angry with him. This footage of him trailing behind the man she claimed she was afraid of, instigating him, was the final nail in the coffin. Ultimately, Melissa was sentenced to 20.5 years in prison for the second-degree murder of Matthew Trussler.